Silly. So we're about to go outside and pick some little flowers, but I'll tell you about that when we get out there. Just had to do a opening scene here in my bomb new kitchen. Making some coffee. Check out my mug display. So cool, huh? We still have a lot of stuff to unpack, but we're not done with the pantry yet. Once the pantry's done, I can really bring everything back in because we're going to be storing like the dehydrator and a lot of the small appliances and stuff in there. So I haven't unpacked all my kitchen stuff. I have started putting some things on the shelves though. It feels like it's going to rain again. It rained yesterday, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and make this harvest of my chamomile. Hey, check it out, the red noodle beans started producing. I was wondering where my basket went. It's on the... Oh, did you pick me one?
Yeah.
You're so helpful. I like those chipmunk cheeks. Those good tomatoes?
They're in my cheek.
Wonder where he got that from.
Don't we want those about to turn red?
Yeah, we can go check on the big tomato that's turning red. Wow, Ben. Look at your tomato. This is a monster.
I like it. I want it.
It's not ready yet. These are pretty big too. Holy. Oh, it's getting closer. I don't think it's quite ready yet.
Let's ready. This one's blushing.
And then that one's blushing pretty good. Not quite ready yet. So it's getting to be the time of year that you're going to start seeing a little bit more of this, and I'm going to address it because I always get messages about it. This is called cracking. This video is not supposed to be about tomatoes, it's supposed to be about chamomile. However, I am going to address really quickly. Cracking happens whenever water comes in irregularly. Sometimes you can't help it because of the rain. Making sure that your tomatoes are as regularly watered as you can help. Now, you don't want to water them every single day because that'll just like dilute the flavor and make their root system shallow. But like I water mine pretty much about every 3 days, especially when it's starting to get hot. Now you can see that tomato has some cracking on it. We got a lot of rain yesterday, and it's gonna happen sometimes. Sometimes it can be severe and it can introduce basically the ability for the fruit to rot. But in a lot of cases, it's just a cosmetic thing and it's okay. But regular watering helps that. We're starting to get quite a few ripe cherry tomatoes every day of all kinds. Okay, come here, let's come harvest these chamomile flowers. I grow chamomile. I like to use it for tea. I also grow calendula. I don't have a lot of it right now, but that I use more for like skincare. However, you can use chamomile for skincare as well. All right, this smells so wonderful. This is the English basically translation of it is Lottie Lan. However, it was shared with me by a viewer that the Polish translation of that is actually, it means golden fields, which I can see why.
Here's a tomato. It's good.
That's for me? Thanks. So ideally, you want to harvest your chamomile when it looks about like this, like when the petals are flat. There's no damage in harvesting it a little before or a little after, but it has the most of the properties that you're looking for in chamomile at this point. So you just pinch the head off there, just right underneath the flower. I have some here that went a little bit overboard, and these are also fine. See how the flowers are kind of dying back? That's also okay. But if they get to the point where the head is like soft and mushy and kind of falling apart for seeds, this is not what you want to harvest for like your tea.
Well, we don't want to harvest this.
So just getting the petals intact, just like this, and pinching these off. That's what we want to do. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Oh. I use my hand as scissors.
Yep. It's nice to just pinch it with your fingernail and just break off right under the flower. And that way you don't damage the plant, because we don't want to pull on the plant. We want it to make more flowers. So you got to be as gentle as possible. Huh? Yeah, that's okay.
Look at that baby.
Yeah, leave the babies there because they're going to open up.
This one's going back. So this is for tea?
Yeah, for tea. Oh, I forgot that. I've got more chamomile over here. I've also got some in the cottage garden. But here's another little part. So in order to make chamomile tea, now you can totally use these flowers fresh. It's gonna seem like you're using more, but it's not, because whenever you're using dried flowers, obviously they've lost some of their size. You use about 4 tablespoons of fresh flowers and then steep them in, 8 ounces. Bring your water to a boil and then steep pour it over the fresh flowers. If you're making herbal tea like that, you wanna cover the cup because you'll lose a lot of the medicinal properties, like the constituents will come out in the steam. I don't know exactly the science behind everything, but I know you're supposed to cover your cup, and that's great. Like if you just want to make fresh tea with fresh flowers here with the chamomile. Also tulsi, holy basil is a great thing to make a fresh tea out of. You can use peppermint. You can mix those things together, chamomile and tulsi, and with a little bit of peppermint in it, it's a really nice fresh tea, herbal tea. No, it's not raining. It's the drips falling off those noodle beans. There's a piece of okra in here that Ben also cut. We've got pretty decent little harvest there, a few more to pick. So what I'm gonna do is just take these and lay them out on like a screen or like a flour sack towel. Ben said a napkin. So sometimes I do lay them out on a flour sack towel on the kitchen counter. My hope this year is to dry a whole lot of chamomile, and I just got this really cool thing from a viewer. I haven't set it up yet because of our remodel. I haven't really had the space, but it's like a big stacked drying rack. You do not have to have a dehydrator to dehydrate herbs. In a lot of cases, it's actually much better to air dry herbs than it is to do them in a dehydrator, because a lot of times, even if you have a good dehydrator, sometimes the lowest setting is even too hot for herbs. So it's really best to just lay them out. Specifically, it goes faster if you can put them on a screen, but even just on like a towel or some paper towels, and just move them around. Make sure that you're turning them over so that all sides are being exposed to the air. Chamomile has many calming benefits. It's a really great bedtime tea. That's how I use chamomile. At night, it's kind of like my little dessert thing after dinner, and once we're winding down, I make a cup of chamomile tea, thank you, and put a spoon of honey in it, and it's just got a lot of really nice anti-anxiety properties. But it's also really, really good for your skin because it is calming. And so what you can do, once you have your flowers dry, and just put them in like a mason jar or something like that and cover them in oil. And what oil you choose is gonna be dependent on what your skin needs are. Like for some people, olive oil is gonna be too heavy because olive oil is pretty heavy oil. I really like grapeseed oil. I have found that that one does well with my skin. It's nice and light. But you could use like fractionated coconut oil. Cover them in oil and just let them steep for a couple of weeks in there, and then at that point you can strain them out and you can use that oil just directly on your skin. Like if you get cracked hands or dry elbows, knees, or feet or whatever, you can put it directly on your skin. Or you can, if you make soaps or salves, you just use that oil in place of whatever oil you're gonna put in those, and it has that chamomile infusion in it. You do not want to put oil over the fresh flowers. Now, I've done it before and it works okay, but I only ever do that in really small batches. Like if I need something pretty quickly, I might do that, but the thing is there's still a lot of moisture in these flowers. And so if you're putting moisture in oil and you're gonna try to set it out at room temperature, obviously that's opening a door that could easily go rancid. And infusing the flowers in oil, the dried flowers, that works the same for anything like that. Like if you're gonna dry your calendula, you can infuse it in oil. You can pick dandelions out of the yard as long as they're not sprayed with anything, and infuse those in oil. And that makes a really great skincare as well. Calendula and dandelions and chamomile are all really great for your skin. The main thing is that when your chamomile starts producing like this, you want to keep it picked, because the more you pick these, the more flowers you're gonna get. Remember, plants are producing flowers because they want to produce seed, because they want to continue on their line and reproduce. So if you leave all of the first flush of flowers on the plant, they're gonna dry up, they're gonna produce seed, and it basically sends a message to that plant, you're good, you did your job, you don't have to do this anymore. Hey, I see some more strawberries on the other side, up high. Ben just looked over and then randomly stopped picking because he spotted a red strawberry. So basically we want to send the message to this plant to keep making flowers, because if we keep picking the flowers, the plant is going to continue to make the flowers because it wants to make its seeds. It wants to reproduce. No, it's really interesting the way that the human body is made, and whenever we learn about the science behind how our body is made, we can really learn how to like best use these built-in reactions and responses as tools. Like, there's a lot of power in your olfactory glands, and you know, I mean, have you ever like been walking through a store and you smell, you know, a perfume that you wore when you were in the 9th grade, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, there you are. Like, it's all these memories come flashing back when you smell that. Like, we can actually link memories and feelings.
We're harvesting, so I'm just picking lemons.
You go, boy, go for it. Are you eating that one?
No.
No, thank you. We can totally on purpose link positive emotions and feelings to smells. Like right now, picking this chamomile and the way that it smells, like instantly I just feel so relaxed, because I drink chamomile tea at night when it's unwind and unplug time. Like when we turn off the media and, you know, we're gonna lay down and talk, or I'm gonna read or whatever, I so often have a cup of chamomile tea. And so even just now out here in the garden, smelling these things, it just kind of brings me to this place of unwinding. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And you can totally do stuff like that on purpose. You can link drinking chamomile tea to like your quiet time, or like a place where you feel a lot of peace. Like if you drink that daily while you're like having quiet time in your garden in the morning or the evening, then like if you're having a really stressful day and you need to wind down and you need to like get a hold of your emotions, you can link that smell and that taste from that peaceful place and kind of bring it into that stressful place and drink that, and it kind of can take you back to that. So it's really interesting. That's a lot of like aromatherapy deals with stuff like that, like linking, making positive connections with smells to be able to bring you back to that place when you need to get back to it. And there are, of course, the actual chemical constituents that are in chamomile that are relaxing and calming. But just linking that to a positive experience is just kind of doubling up on that. All right, you want to go check for strawberries?
Yep.
The most optimum time to harvest things like your chamomile, your calendula, the, you know, flowers that you're harvesting for making tea or salves or whatever, is late morning. So after the morning dew has dried, but not like the heat of the day. So late morning is really the best time. I can't believe how many strawberries we're still getting. Oh, he's done. He has 2 handfuls. So there's some debate on whether these should be washed from coming in out of the garden. If I am harvesting as I am today, when I know that those plants have not been sprayed with anything, not even, I mean, no pesticides of even organic kind, a lot of times I just go ahead and dry them. However, you can wash them if you feel like you need to. Just put them in a colander, wash them off, and then you're gonna wanna lay them out to dry. So this is what I'm gonna go ahead and do for today, is get them here. I may move these before the drying process is done. I'd really like to set up that herb drying hanging thing that I got. I just haven't had a place to put it feasibly that it wouldn't be in the way, but we're so close to nailing up a lot of the details of the remodel, and once I have a place, I'm gonna hang that up. But this will be okay for today. I just didn't want to let any of these flowers go any further without harvesting them, because I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity of getting as much harvest as possible. Guys, that's just a simple little thing. I love growing chamomile in the garden because it's just a really nice companion plant. It brings the pollinators in and they really enjoy it. Also, obviously, I really enjoy it. And it's really simple to harvest this. You just stay on top of picking these, keep them drying throughout the season, and then put them up in a jar and have plenty of evenings of a lovely calming tea. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. I bless you. Until next time.